one thing that I really I feel like moms should know, even aspiring moms or just new moms who are having their journey for the first time, is that motherhood triggers your own childhood trauma. And this goes like this. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, my name is Stella Muyoka, and my channel is about motherhood. It's just a small community for moms sharing stories about their journey. And and for other moms actually to learn and feel supported and just feel like they can relate to another mom. So I did a previously video on like 10 things that I wish I knew before becoming a mom. And there were a lot of people were talking about their experiences and also the things they didn't know. And I decided to just go and actually redo like another part 2 for now, the same. And we're going to look at other things that I actually didn't talk about from the other video. So I picked some items that I felt like you guys actually talked about that it's important for us to mention. And one is your body will feel different permanently. Well, that's something you're going to adjust in a minute because you've gone through the process, you've added weight, because you're accommodating your child to be able to give grow the baby, and also birth the baby. There's a lot of changes that are going to occur in your body. There's the increase in the weight, though it doesn't occur with everyone. There's some who don't, but most of us actually add the weight. And also there's actually one thing that was a bit strange was the adding of, if you wear like a shoe size 37, you find that whatever shoes you had before you gave birth no longer fit, they become a smaller size. So you tend to go like a one size shoe bigger. Your clothes may not fit anymore, so you have to change again your whole wardrobe and all that. So, and there's this thing that mom jokes about, which is about you pee when you sneeze. It happens because of the changes that have occurred actually down there. So there are a lot of changes that occur with your body, so you have to be gracious about it. And I think I shared this with previously in another video of, I was very curious to see what had happened down there. And I was looking at it, and and I think most guys were just laughing about it. But it's just the curiosity and seeing, my body has changed. Okay, what is happening to what happened to it, and what is the appearance? So big and this change in your body is going to make you have like a bit of a low self-esteem. I know people say I'm confident, but that change from your like mourning your previous body to this other body, there's like it occurs to everyone. So even if you're having a low self-esteem, it's something that I have gone through, because I will stand in the mirror, I will look at myself, and then I will look at that picture that I had taken when I was in Zanzibar in a bikini, on the beach and the body that I have now. And I was, I would feel like I was hating my body, but the constant reminder that you be gracious to yourself. Your body has just, nurtured a child and birthed a child, and the changes in the hormonal changes, and having that information was very key to me. And I did a lot of affirmations. I have not shed. Actually, I've not shed the. I'm trying still to shed the baby fat, but anyway. I mourned my body, and I'm okay with the body that I have right now because of what I did to myself. And nobody should actually make you feel bad about your body. You remind yourself, even I know sometimes there are moms who actually have partners who shame them, and during this process, which is a bad thing, yes, but I want you to have that strong will and mind that it's a phase, and you will heal, and you will go back to the body you had before, but it might not feel the same as before. And also, bonding doesn't always happen immediately. I think there's something I've also shared on my birth story, that when I saw my child, I wasn't even, I had zero emotion. I had zero emotions because I was tired. And I just wanted to rest. I didn't feel like, oh, my baby's here, yay, I love my child and all that. I think I was numb. I can say, I think I was a bit numb. And it's okay. Even if it's later, bonding comes. Bonding is like, I feel like bonding, the way you start talking to someone, it's like you're forming a relationship and you're bonding together. I feel like you need to be gracious, because you will stay with this child. You will see how they smile, they laugh, and you see you will create a bond with them. And sometimes I know there's a mom that struggled with, PPD, And it's hard now, totally hard for them, because we have different experiences of birth, we have different experiences of pregnancy, and sometimes we tend to, because of those experiences, we might hate our child. And when you hate your child, you can't bond, or maybe when you hate yourself, you can't. When it comes to that mental, there's when it comes to now the mental issues that you have, it's still, just give yourself grace, because knowing this is your child, you're going to stay with this child, you're going to bond with them, and eventually you will love seeing them smile, hug them, you know. Like, I love my child right now. I can't even, you know, I can't correlate the person I was at that time and the person I am today, because I will run miles for that boy. And we talk about postpartum emotions are intense. I think it's more correlated to crying. um, I think I had moments where I was just breastfeeding my child. Breastfeeding is weird. When you start breastfeeding, it's a bit weird. But I had moments where I will just be breastfeeding this child and I'm crying. I am just sitting and I'm crying. If you ask me what's wrong with me, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I had moments where I think my child had colic sometime and my baby was just crying. And I couldn't find, I have fed this child, I have cleaned this child. I don't know why is this baby crying, because you know, you learn about your child as you go, why they cry, the types of cry they have, and all that. But I didn't know what was wrong with this child, and he was crying. So you just find yourself crying, which is normal, because of it's normal. And sometimes because of these struggles and shifts is where now moms get into postpartum depression. But be gracious. You have to give yourself the same grace you give your child, actually. And this one is a bit this number 4 now is I want to say that this is just my opinion. I stand as my opinion and not associated with the company that I work for. And breastfeeding isn't always natural. I talk about this because I talk about my journey and the way I after 40 days I flew to my mom. I wanted to stay with my mom. And the first day we were at home, and my mom was looking after my child, and I was breastfeeding. I was pumping. I was pumping, but I couldn't even get half a cup of milk. But I was still breastfeeding this child, and my mom sat me down because I think she saw that I was struggling with guilt of breastfeeding, and I had a bit of issue when it comes to breastfeeding. So I didn't want to, it was like a sensitive topic, and my mom had to sit me down, and she told me, I think your child is not sleeping because your child is hungry. And I looked at my mom, and she said, and I think she knew that I wanted to say something like, like, no, I have enough milk and all that. And she told me, let's just go to the market and just buy one tin of formula, and let's just try and give it to the baby and see the baby's reaction. We went, we had to buy, we had to, because we had to buy like the bottles, the formula, and she came, she did the mixing, and she fed my child, and my child slept. And I think at that point I almost cried. I almost cried because I wish someone was so gracious enough to just tell me, you don't, at this point you don't have enough milk to give, to actually, from your breast milk for your child, you need to just do supplementation. Because my child slept for the first time, and I was so relieved. I was so happy because I could rest, and my child did not wake up at night, because he was we breastfeed and then we supplement, we breastfeed then we supplement. And that shows the importance of moms, the present moms sometimes. And I think that's a very touchy topic for me a bit. And number 5 is everyone will have an opinion. Everyone will have an opinion of your parenting style, whatever you do. Someone will find you sitting with a child on a chair, and I'm usually pissed off about this. Someone will find you sitting in a lobby with your child, and they will give you an opinion about your child, about yourself, what you're supposed to do. You sit, things they didn't ask for, but they will always have an opinion. You will be maybe changing, you will be doing something with your child, someone will have an opinion. But this is the one thing I hate about motherhood. But well, we live in a world where people feel like your business is their business because you're a mom. And number 6 is about milestones and not a race. I remember babies, one thing on my side that worked, that I feel like worked for me, is I had an app. Thanks to Aziz's dad, he showed me an app where you can just know the milestones of your child, what to expect every month. So it was so interesting because at the beginning of every 6th of every month, they will send me like an email of the milestone to expect of my child during that month. So I was, as much as I didn't know from anybody's experience, I was able to, understand this is what I expect. So I could see, you see your child opening their eyes, smiling at you, moving their leg, mimicking your words, speaking, all the sounds and all that, sitting, crawling. Oh, my child didn't crawl, by the way. Crawling and walking. So these are my milestones you expect. And also talking. So you find that my child will do this. You find that I had a friend actually whose baby was doing milestones earlier than mine. But then again, I learned there are some girls who actually, they achieve the milestones faster. But also there are children who, boys delay a bit, but also there are children who tend to delay. And I think there's a lot of contribution towards the milestone sometimes. But when your child doesn't hit a milestone at a specific the specific month, maybe the 9th month, we want our child maybe to do this. You have to know that every child is different. Every child is different. So be gracious with your child also, and don't feel guilty and feeling that you've done lesser for your child. That's why they're not hitting the milestone. Because I had a friend who her child was not speaking at a certain age that my child had, and she was. Actually, no, her child was younger than my child for the milestone. And she was like, my baby's not speaking. She wanted to go to a pediatrician to see, if there's going to be doing, the speech therapies and all that. But I was telling her, can you just be gracious to your child and talk to your child? Because the one thing adults don't do is they actually, I feel like we tend to ignore kids and feel like our kids are not, they don't understand, they don't have the concept. But the one thing, as young as your baby is, whether it's 0 months, 3 months, 6 months, talk to your child. Hi, you just say, hi, Aziel, how are you today? Mimic the words, whatever they say, you mimic their words. They learn from that. You say, mommy, daddy, those words they will pick. That is why you see after a while your child can recognize their name. All of a sudden, you've called them Aziel, Aziel, Aziel. And until when you say Aziel, they respond by looking at you because they are learning this is their name. So talk to your kid. Your child is just there's one thing that someone told me. Your child is an adult. Your child is a small adult, but the difference between you and your child is you have experience, you can express yourself, and you know what you want. But a baby is learning from you all this. So even when it comes to food, same, you use the same, the same thing. Your child is if you were fed ugali every day, you want eat the ugali at some point. So that is why we say you have to feed your child, mashed whatever every time. So your child is you. So however how you are as a person, how would you feel being this baby? And that is how you treat your child. And then when it comes to your career ambitions and dreams, I feel like they don't die. It's like you have a change on the desires you had. But I'm a very weird person. I don't say if it's weird, or I think when it comes to the IQ capacity, sometimes I fail there. So you find that it's not that I fail. I just feel like I'm a bit different. So in an aspect that when my child was like when I was 9 months pregnant, I went and applied for a master. I went and I applied for a master's degree, and I was sitting there with my big tummy, and I'm looking at the lecturer, the one who was in charge of like the postgraduate students, and he's looking at me and he's smiling. And I'm telling him, I'm asking, what is the problem? And he was looking at me and telling me, Stella, can you just go and give birth first and come back? And I told him, just send in my application because I've already paid it, everything. Just let my application go through. When I'm ready, I will come, because I wanted to do September. I wanted to do some few months before I gave birth. But anyway, I think it was very stupid of me. But I was also thinking, I was also escaping the idea of motherhood, because it's something that I actually struggled with for a while. And I think I went when my child was like, how old was my child? That's because he was born in November, December, January I was in class. It's an interesting story anyway. But I think, okay, it's unfortunate, but it tends to derail you a bit, but it doesn't mean that your dreams die. And I think most of us are able to set the gear like well at when your child turns 2. Like that is the trend that goes because of how coming back to yourself and all that in your goals and everything. So you can still remind yourself of your goals, your dreams and all that. They don't die, they just delay a bit. But there are those women who have been able actually to still steer forward. So And also, days are long, but years are fast. Because you have days where you have days where you feel like this journey is so long. When is it going to end? But the most funny thing about motherhood is, again, you're always a mom. Even to a 30-year-old child, you're still a mom. Whether you're going to still be their mom. Motherhood doesn't have an ending per se, but they also, like, you've seen this trend that goes online where you see parents showing their kids at 3 months, and then all of a sudden they're 6 years. And these child changes as the years are going by. That is why they usually say you cherish every moment that you have with your child, because it's going to reach at a point, especially when they become teens and very mean and they don't want even you around because you're old and you're a nuisance to them. So when you have this child, you appreciate those moments that you have. And also, one thing that I really I feel like moms should know, even aspiring moms or just new moms who are having their journey for the first time, is that motherhood triggers your own childhood trauma. And this goes like this. Like I think I'd mentioned before, like the work you've done, therapy work you've done before you become a mom, it goes to square zero. But the difference is now you have an idea of what trauma you had, how to go about it, but you go back to square zero. And these are things I struggled a bit with. But I realize, I think when you're raising a child, whatever stage that a trauma occurred to you, whether it was neglect, whether it was, whatever it was, it comes back to you. It's like you're reliving it, but now with your child. If you all these things will come about when you have a child. And I think my point, I can't say it's a breaking point, but where I was okay the first year, the second year I was okay with my child. I didn't have terrible 2, by the way, but I had terrible 3. I had terrible 3, and I struggled with it a lot because my child needed a lot of attention. And if you've grown up maybe with being neglected, it's a bit of a struggle when you have with a child. They need a lot, they want a lot, because so now everything that I had worked on my child, I had read about, I came to break them. I came to break them during the third actually year of my child. But one thing that I was I was gracious about, and I tell you people to read a lot, go read books on motherhood and all that. I knew you create your child, like